We all know Shane Lyons is no longer the AD at West Virginia University. All the talk has been about how will it affect Neil Brown and the future of the West Virginia football program. Well, today we're here to talk to you about how will it affect Bob Huggins and the West Virginia basketball program, because that's not something people are talking about enough. What is up, Mountaineer fans, Big 12 fans? This is Couz.
And this is Mountaineer Paul.
And we present to you
Hoops from the Hills.
We're going to dig into a topic today, folks, that I don't think has been talked about enough, at least in the public forum. Paul and I wanted to touch on it today, and that is, how will this firing of Shane Lyons impact the West Virginia basketball program? And Paul, I'm going to start with you, man. Just give me your initial thoughts on the basketball program, Bob Huggins' future and all that, and how you think it aligns with this Shane Lyons firing.
I think it can go one of two ways. It really depends on how the basketball team performs. If Bob Huggins has another losing season and then this makes two in a row, then you start to worry about, is he past his prime? That would not be a good thing, because the next athletic director is probably going to give him his leash to retire whenever he wants. If he's past his prime, that's not a good thing. Mm-hmm. Now, however, if, like some think, he was maybe trying to be forced out by Shane Lyons at points, and he comes back and has a good season and is still the Bob Huggins we know and love, then this was a great thing. There are rumors that he was possibly being forced out. Hopefully, and I believe that he's not past his prime, that he's still the same Bob Huggins. But those are the two ways you can look at it, in my opinion.
Right. And that rumor about him being forced out, the way I heard it said was this: he basically had been told, he got a visit from, I'm assuming, Shane, this is how your career is going to end, and basically laying it out for him, not really giving him a choice. And
wow.
Bob Huggins is a legend of West Virginia. He probably has more clout than Shane Lyons did, to be honest. The boosters love the guy, from my understanding. I'm sure leadership, the board probably loves the guy. We all know the fan base loves him. He's probably the most popular person in the state, you could argue. Liked person in the state, most loved person in the state. Let's rephrase that. Most loved person in the state. There's a huge portion of the fan base that believes that Bob Huggins should be able to walk away on his own terms, when he wants to and how he wants to. And I guess Shane Lyons didn't see it that way. Has Bob Huggins earned the right to walk away when he chooses?
I think any coach, if they start to fail on a regular basis, whether that be for 2-3 years in a row, should be able to be introspective and know that maybe it's time to have a conversation with myself, my family, and in the athletic department about whether or not I should continue to do this or not. I don't think Bob Huggins is the type of guy that would allow that to happen anyway. But no, my opinion is no. As long as he's winning, yes. But, and I hate to put it like that, but no, I don't think that the program should suffer just because he has earned this clout or something like that.
That's fair. I kind of waffle on this subject, to be honest. I kind of see it both ways, and because I love that guy.
Me too.
I'm not gonna lie. When I found out he was getting in Hall of Fame, I teared up a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. But at the same time, I don't know that it's fair to let a coach, let's just say, for example, he has 3-4 losing seasons in a row. Is it really fair to the basketball program and to us as fans to just let him continue to do that just because he's Bob Huggins? You know what I'm saying? So I struggle finding a balance there. Do I feel like he has a longer leash than another coach would? Absolutely, I do. I think you give him more opportunities to get it right than maybe you would somebody else. But to flat out say, hey, you can just walk away when you want to, I don't think I'd go that far. A lot of rumblings out there, and I'm pretty confident there's legs to these rumors. I've heard it from people who would know. Let's just put it that way. Bob Huggins and Shane Lyons were not on the same page and didn't see eye to eye. And Bob, the big, nice practice facility that West Virginia has that has been said by even people outside of West Virginia that is arguably the best in the country, Shane Lyons would not agree to fund that. Bob Huggins had to raise that money on his own. And it's actually, some of it's well documented. And that's why a lot of people, which I don't agree with this take, but there's a take out there that Bob Huggins should be the next athletic director because he's so good at fundraising. I don't agree with that, but I understand the argument, at least. But, Bob Huggins, he's tried to get new scoreboards, didn't get it. He's tried to get new seating, didn't get it. The basketball program has had to get all of that funding on their own outside of the athletic department. So if you're in Bob Huggins' shoes, future Hall of Fame coach, now you've been to a Final Four, you've taken West Virginia teams to a Final Four, you've been in the Elite Eight multiple times, a Sweet 16, and your athletic department won't give you hardly anything. How could you not dislike the guy or at least not see eye to eye with that guy, right? So
especially when he went out and proved you wrong and still got the money anyway.
Yeah. So to me, in my opinion, the firing of Shane Lyons is actually better for Bob Huggins. Bob Huggins may stay at West Virginia even longer now than he would have had Shane Lyons been the AD.
And that's a good thing. Yeah, and I think that's a good thing because, like I told you a minute ago, personally, I don't think he's past his prime. I think what he wants to do still works and will always work. He warmed up to the portal. That was the only thing I foresaw coming when it was talked about that could derail Bob Huggins. That was it. Is he going to warm up to that? Well, he damn sure has. So There's not really anything, in my opinion, and it's only going to get better for him.
I agree. And, being in the Hall of Fame now can't hurt, right?
No, we've had 2 players say that.
Yeah.
Openly.
So we should be able to get some top-notch guys out of the portal now. But one thing Bob Huggins said in one of his press conferences the other day, and I think now that this was before Shane Lyons got fired, that now I look back on and think maybe there was, you know me, I'm always reading between the lines, right? Looking at the hidden messages and what people say. They asked him about when he's going to retire, if he had a plan. And he said, I'm not going to wear out my welcome. Now, at the time, I didn't think much about it. But now that I heard about him and Shane Lyons not being on the same page, I'm thinking that's probably what he meant. He probably had been told when he was going to retire, right? That also probably plays a role in Shane Lyons not being here anymore. I think his relationship with Bob Huggins rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. Positions, meaning boosters, board members, that kind of thing. Maybe even Gordon Gee, I'm not sure. But at the end of the day, that didn't do Shane any favors.
Yeah, to think that not getting along. I know Bob Huggins is probably not an easy person to always get along with. I have no doubt that he's probably difficult at times. Man, what he means to the state, to the university, and flat out his production on the court. You think you could just put personal differences aside for somebody like that?
Yeah.
Certainly there has to have been a way to still keep that relationship somewhat healthy through that.
Right.
I'm sure there was a way to break that news to him. There had to have been a way to do it without severing the relationship. And maybe there are other reasons we don't know about. Who knows?
And one thing I heard Mike Couz and Chris Henderson talk about in one of their recent podcasts, when they were talking about the Lions firing, was that, when they're interviewing new ADs, that's probably going to be a topic of conversation. How are you going to handle Bob Huggins' exit at West Virginia? Because if you botch that, I don't know that the fan base, boosters, or whoever will ever forgive you for it.
It'd be a fireable offense.
Yeah. So that's how much weight Bob Huggins has at West Virginia, whether it's good or bad. Is it ever that good for one coach to have that much power? Probably not. But at the same time, when you're somebody like Bob Huggins, who I don't know that anybody loves West Virginia more than Bob Huggins. I honestly don't. So, Paul, let me ask you a question, man. Do you think, speaking of Bob Huggins and his future and how he leaves, do you think Bob Huggins should be allowed to name his successor?
Wow. You caught me off guard with that one a little bit. I think so. I think who better than Bob Huggins to name a successor? And there are guys out there that be really good at the job. Talk about a Frank Martin. Talk about an Eric Martin. Guys like that. And maybe an AD would want to go a different route. I don't know. I don't think if you're going to get some concessions to Bob, maybe that'd be the way you go rather than forcing him out. Say, hey, when you go, how about you get somebody ready to step in that you trust? Because if Bob Huggins trusts somebody, who better than to endorse somebody than him?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great point. And I'm sure, he might want Larry Harrison to take over for him. He might want. Alex Ruoff is on staff now, and Alex Ruoff has openly said he wants to be the coach at West Virginia one day. That's his dream. Darius Nichols, experience at Radford. So there's all kinds.
Joe Mazzulla would have been great, but not anymore.
He's
not going to leave Boston.
Yeah, he's. I think he's found a home. He's doing pretty darn good at Boston.
Yeah. He landed in a good spot.
And I'm extremely proud of that guy, by the way. No, Joe Mazzulla would have been an awesome option, but as you said, he's probably not leaving the Celtics. But Huggins has been he knows so many coaches. He would, who better So, I asked you to answer it. Now I'll answer it. Yes, I think Bob should have a hand. Do I think he should be final say? Probably not, but I do think he should have a role. And even if he does have final say, I wouldn't have an issue with it. I mean, he knows how to recognize a good coach and pick his successor. I say go for it, man.
Yeah,
I'm cool with it.
how would you feel about a Frank Martin?
Oh, I'd love it.
Yeah,
but I just don't know if Frank Martin. Well, I mean, he's at UMass now, so I'm sure he would want to get back to the Power 5 level. I'd be okay with it. I wouldn't mind having somebody younger though that can stay there for a long time, like a Darius Nichols. Well, Paul, is there anything else you want to touch on regarding this topic?
No, Couz.
All right, man. Well, listen, everybody, don't forget to sub up Paul's other channel, Mountaineer Paul Talks Football. If you haven't yet, I'm at Couz's Corner over there, talking football as well. Check us out. Sub our channels up. Sub this channel up if you haven't yet. This is where we talk all things West Virginia and Big 12 basketball. There's a video up on the channel right now about Gonzaga coming into the league. There's a video up recapping West Virginia's win over Pitt. Paul and I did a season preview video. If you want to keep up with Mountaineer basketball, this is a place for you, man. Hoops from the Hills with Mountaineer Paul, with Couz. We're going to try to put up a couple episodes a week, if not more, and keep you guys in the loop and give you our takes on what's going on with Mountaineer basketball. Any more final words, brother?
Let's go Mountaineers.
Let's go Mountaineers, and we're out.